Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For my video today, I'm going to be a little bit negative. Usually I like to keep things positive around here. However, sometimes you just have to vent. And so for my video today, I'm going to be talking about 5 things that I hate about handbags. Those little pet peeves, those little things that drive you crazy about a bag when you are using it. Well, that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And this is not about any particular brand, because all of these brands, all of the brands that I have, at least on my shelf, I have found can be guilty of these things. So I'm going to start off with number 5. Which is your twisting chain strap. So you guys know and love chain strap bags. Some of the most beautiful, sophisticated bags in the world have chain straps. Many Chanel's do as well. And one thing I have noticed about this is my reissue, is that a lot of times when I am using the bag and I put it down and then I go to pick it back up again, I find that the chain strap will actually twist and kink, and then it is not sitting right on my shoulder, and it's just really, really irritating. So what it does is, like, it twists like this, and then you have these little kinks all over the chain. And like I said, you have to fiddle with it and fuss with it and smooth it out and everything. And I just think that's unnecessary. Like, I just want to pick up my bag and go. I don't want to have to fuss and fiddle with it. However, I do have to say it is not a deal breaker for me, because one of the reasons that I bought this bag is because the chain is absolutely beautiful. It really is like a work of art. It is intricate, it is heavy, it is beautiful, it is gorgeous, and I do love the chain on this one. But I find that on the reissue in particular, it really does tend to do this. So like, it'll go like that when you're picking it up, and then you have all these little, and it's not always just one, sometimes it's 2, 3, there's one, that one just formed by itself, I didn't do that one on purpose, and that drives me crazy. I feel like for multiple thousands of dollars that you spend on these bags, it's just really, really annoying, and I don't know why it happens. Now, it seems to be the bags that have the chain strap that is one continuous piece. So it happens with my jumbo, it happens with this bag, it happens with other bags too. I had a YSL puffer bag. Every time I picked that thing up, the chain strap was all twisted and kinked. However, if you have a chain strap that is detachable, that actually clips on, I do find that those do not tend to tangle as much. So something like this, for example, from Coach, it does have a little bit of a chain there, but because it's got this swivel end on it, it does not kink as much as some of the other ones do. So yeah, it's not a deal breaker for me, but it's just really, really annoying. And if you've experienced it, you probably know all about it. And for number 2, it is the infamous black hole. So all brands tend to do this. They have a black interior inside the bag, and especially if the bag is a little bit bigger, when you look inside of it, it is a black hole. So one of the biggest culprits is going to be Louis Vuitton with their Épée Noire bags, because these Épée Noire bags also have a micro suede interior that is almost always black. And so when you look inside the bag, it is just a big black hole and you cannot see anything in there. Not sure why they do this. I mean, I understand that you want to keep the interior dark because it shows less as far as stains go. You know, your ink stains are not going to show, or any other kind of stain you might get is not going to show inside of a black interior. However, it makes it really, really difficult to find your items inside, especially if you're older like me and your close vision is not what it used to be. Fortunately, I do have to say that there is an easy solution for that one, and that is to buy a bag organizer. So I purchased one for my Neo Noe. It is a black interior, but I got a bright blue liner because I want to be able to see my things. So something like this, it's bright blue, you can see all your items. When you look inside the bag, it definitely is brighter for you, and it makes it so much easier to find your items. So at least I have to say that that is a solution for the black hole. But it is frustrating why they do that, I'm not really sure. Chanel has the beautiful burgundy interior for many of their bags, and I actually think that's a really good solution to the problem. It's dark enough so that it's not going to show stains, but at the same time it's a little bit brighter. You get a little bit more contrast between your items and the lining of the bag, and you tend to be able to find things a little bit easier in a lighter interior like that. So I would love it if bag companies would just stop making the black hole, because it is really frustrating. And next up, number 3, we have the awkward opening. And by awkward opening, I mean the bag that either won't stay open when you're trying to put things in it, or you can't put your things in it because it's fighting you, or you can't pull your things out of it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a tiny bag. Obviously, smaller bags are going to have a smaller opening, but this is my graceful MM, and this is probably one of the biggest bags that I actually have. And this opening is right up there with awkward because it is a hobo bag. So the top of the bag just collapses on itself, and then when you do try to open it, it kind of, again, just collapses on itself. So if I'm hanging this on my shoulder and I'm trying to get into my bag and I'm trying to reach in, it often just closes back on itself because of the weight of the bag. And I do find that very, very frustrating. So this is a very large bag that has that problem. And then I've also had relatively medium-sized small bags have that problem as well. Another culprit for me was the YSL puffer bag. I got it in a small, and it has sort of a envelope-shaped type of opening on it, and oh my goodness, that bag drove me crazy. I couldn't get anything in it. I couldn't get anything out of it. The flap wouldn't stay open, and it was just really, really frustrating. And I really think that if you're going to design a bag, yes, the looks are important, but you've really got to think about the function. That's one thing that I have learned over buying many years worth of designer bags, is that I really do pay attention now to the function, whether I can get in and out of the bag easily, because I really, really hate fighting with my bag in order to get to my belongings or to put my belongings inside the bag. Number 2 is the fussy clasp. We've all been there. We all know what the fussy clasp entails. And so here is an example of a relatively fussy clasp. This is the slide lock clasp from my backpack, my Louis Vuitton backpack. It's a Clapton, I think it is called. And sometimes this will just not hook, or I really have to grab the bag in a particular way and I have to push it down. Now it's empty right now, and I'm not obviously using it right now, so it does seem to open and close relatively easily. The opening is a little bit more challenging than the closing on this bag, but it's a beautiful clasp and I really like it, and I know it's nice and secure, but sometimes it just fights you. And even the turn locks in the Chanel bags will fight you as well. So this is another example. This is my reissue. I do like this bag, I have to say, but sometimes this turn lock will not catch. So if I have things in here and it is kind of puffed out and fuller of my items, sometimes I'm walking along with one hand trying to close my bag and trying to connect the turn lock, and it just won't do it. And I don't know if it's the way I'm handling it or if it's the lock itself. I'm just not sure, but whatever the case is, these kinds of fussy clasps drive me crazy. They really make it so much more difficult to easily handle and your bag and put your items in and out. So I've seen lots of different clasps like this, and again, this poor bag, the YSL puffer bag that I had, everything about it just drove me crazy, which is why I sold it. I didn't like the twisty strap, I didn't like the awkward opening, and the fussy clasp on that thing. It was such a strong magnet that I couldn't get it to open. Sometimes with one hand, I had to pull it with two hands. It was ridiculous. So it's really no wonder why I sold that bag, and I love, love, love the look of it, but just as far as function went, it got to the point where I would pick up any bag but that bag because there were so many things about it that I couldn't stand. So that, all 3 of those together in one bag was definitely a deal breaker for me. in and of itself, each of these individual problems are not going to stop me from buying a bag, but when you combine them all together, yes, definitely. That was a bag that just didn't work for me. Okay, and finally, the number one complaint that I have about luxury handbags is the price increases, and I'm sure everybody is right there with me. What is going on with these price increases? Yes, I know they are luxury bags. Yes, I know they are meant to be exclusive, but oh my goodness, if you look at the price of the Chanel Classic Flap in the medium size, 10 years ago it was $4,900, which is high. But now in 2024, it is $10,200. Do you know what you can do with $10,200? You could probably pay off a good chunk of your car loan, a good chunk of your student loans, a good chunk of your mortgage maybe, or you can go on a really, really fabulous vacation. And when you really think about what you can get with $10,200, you can do that, or you can buy a handbag. It really is kind of crazy, and I don't know where they're going with these price increases. I'm not really sure if they're selling the bags as once they were, because it seemed like right after COVID, the luxury market just went bananas and everybody was trying to get luxury handbags and they were paying the increases and paying the increases. But it's gotten to the point now where I would prefer to look at a designer bag that is maybe not in the luxury category. You know, brands like Polène or De Melier or Tory Burch, or something that is a little bit more affordable. Yes, you get the look of a designer bag. In many cases, you get really good quality, but you're just not paying those staggering prices. And that is definitely my number one complaint about luxury handbags today. In fact, I have kind of eased back on my wish list for designer handbags and just buying them in general, because I don't feel that they're worth it anymore. I just don't feel that it would be worth paying $10,000 for a Chanel handbag. And then I would feel probably like I didn't want to use it because it is so, so valuable, and what happens if it gets stolen, or what happens if it falls in the mud or something like that, you know? Like, that's not something that I really want to contemplate. So unfortunately, I feel like the market is kind of changing, and I think there's probably a lot of you out there that feel the way I do, that maybe you're going to look at other brands instead of those really, really high-end luxury brands, because they are pricing themselves just right out of the market. So that is it for my video today, guys. What are the things that drive you crazy about your designer handbags? Let me know in the comments section below. If you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video, guys. Take care.